5 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m., it is Wednesday, believe it or not, March 13th, 2019, Hump Day, Shane. It is 17 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and Shane Matobin in Vancouver, British Columbia. Half man, half amazing. Tom Eagle off your morning mayor in the house, and, well, we're ready to rock and roll this morning. Got Mike McCormick in at 8 o'clock, and should be a fun day, and temperatures are going up in the near future, so we're excited about that. Spring may be on the way, Shane.
Oh, you're ready to bust out all over, aren't you, Mayor? You just can't help yourself.
I cannot help myself. I am busting as we speak. I can't find a pen that works, though. There we go.
Well, that might help.
Yeah. Well, I got to take notes, so.
Well, you could poke a pencil in the end of your finger, and then you wouldn't have to hold it.
Yeah, I could do that, yeah. Why? I just put a lead in whatever.
Yeah, right.
Whatever it takes, so.
Remember, it's before 8 o'clock. Careful.
Yeah, I know. I can't do anything before at least 9 or whatever or something. Anyway. Well, today we're looking for a high of 26 degrees, overnight low of 18. We're going to have snow today. It's going to be, they're predicting 1 to 3 inches and about an 80% chance about 11 o'clock this morning. So look for a little snow on your way home, and it'll continue a little bit overnight, tapering off probably a little after midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then on Thursday, 29, and the overnight low will be 13. And partly cloudy, and then it goes up to 36. Overnight low again, 13, but partly cloudy, no precip. Saturday, all the way up to 38 degrees, 15 the overnight low. And then on Sunday, 39 and 18 the overnight low, partly cloudy all those days. And then 39 on Monday, 17 the overnight low, and then we bust out on Tuesday, sunny, 43 and 18, and then it goes to 45 and 21 on next Wednesday. So we are looking at some pretty nice weather ahead. No more snow, and we actually got some above freezing days, so we can get rid of some of the massive snow we've got on all the side streets and everywhere else, and hopefully.
Well, get ready to saddle up that horse and miss all the gopher holes.
That's right, man. I'm going to miss them. Well, I won't have any excuse to go out and get stuff done around the house now. Now that it's warmed up.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, temperatures around the area right now. Livingston's at 17. Manhattan's 12 degrees, mostly cloudy there. Three Forks, 15. And Gallatin Gateway is 17. Ennis is 15 degrees. Let's see, who else we got in there? Well, I think that's all of them. The airport is 11 degrees, and it's a balmy 17 degrees here at our lavishly appointed downtown studios in Bozeman, Montana, where we bring you the morning soapbox with Tom and Shane 5 days a week.
There we go.
There you are. Yeah. So, this day in history, Shane.
1639, a new college. It was a new college because 1639. That's
well,
early.
yeah. I was gonna say that
guess what it was renamed?
Tom and Shane School of Hard Knocks.
No, Magic. Tom and Shane School of Magic.
A School of Magic. Okay, yeah.
Harvard College for clergymen. Are you ready for this? Clergyman John Harvard. Do you think if those students on that campus knew the school is named after a clergyman,
they would go there?
They'd want to change the name, I'm sure. There you go.
I don't know. Well,
your turn.
All right, 1781, the seventh planet of the solar system, Uranus, was discovered by Sir William Herschel. All right, so.
No, wait, didn't I tell you it's like still before 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Shane. What names do they turn down?
Let's see. Yeah, what names? I should look that up. It's probably turned down. I can't say it's on the radio.
Well, I know. That's what I say. I mean, one of the planets may be one of the 8 words we can't say. So I'm going,
right,
what?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, you got Saturn, you got Mars. Couldn't it be? I don't know, Cleopatra, something.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Moses. I don't know. Come on.
1852, Uncle Sam finally made his debut as a cartoon character in the New York Lantern. Now, this is important because he'd been around since the War of 1812.
All right. I never can remember.
Yeah,
when was the War of 1812? I never can remember when that happened. I don't know.
Sometime in the
1800s? Yeah.
19th century, yeah.
Okay.
And
that's what's confusing. I got the 1812 and the 19th century. That's the problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The two are confusing. You know, it should be the 18th century and the 18 War of 12. Or the War of 1812, whatever. Anyway. In 1865, on this date, Confederate President Jefferson Davis signed a measure allowing black slaves to enlist in the Confederate States Army with the promise they would be set free. Ooh.
All right. Yeah, Lincoln had already done that several years before, but the South was, it was a war of attrition, and the South had no manufacturing capabilities and the only railroads they had were to the sea. Not a good thing.
Yeah. Well, that was true, and of course, this was in 1865 when the war was just about to end, too. So,
yes, that's right. 1884, big topic this last week. 1884, Standard Time was adopted throughout the United States today.
Wow!
Bet
All
you
right.
didn't know that happened in the 19th
I
century.
didn't know that happened.
Neither did I.
Yeah. In 1901, the 23rd President of the United States, Benjamin Harrison, died in Indianapolis at the age of 67.
And Uncle Teddy the Bear.
That's right, yeah.
Over as president.
Yeah. In 1925, the Tennessee General Assembly approved a bill prohibiting the teaching of the theory of evolution. So there you go, in Tennessee of all places. That's surprising. You'd think a Bible Belt down there. You'd think they would be. Well, I guess they would prohibit evolution in the Bible Belt, wouldn't they?
Well, that's amazing because 1938, Defense Attorney Clarence S. Darrow died at age 80. And he's the one who had that famous trial in Tennessee about
the Scopes monkey trial. Yeah,
that's right. And it was Clarence S. Darrow. Yeah,
it was the two. What was it? Inherit the Wind was the movie, I believe.
Correct. Great movie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, that was
incredible
so good.
Acting.
Yeah.
And black and white.
Yeah, Spencer Tracy and gosh, I can't remember the other guy's name, but.
Big tall guy.
And Samantha was in it. Samantha's husband, Dick York, was in it.
Dick York. Gary Cooper.
Yeah. Well, I think it was after Gary. Yeah, it was after Gary's time. So.
Yeah. No, the guy from England. What was his name? The Welsh guy.
No.
He played in. I'll think of it in a minute. 1933. Banks began to reopen after a holiday declared by President Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those holidays to don't run on my bank.
Well, it was that. Also, he said that the Americans had to turn in all their gold.
Right, yeah.
So. A lot of people think he did it so the wealthy didn't have to go to the bank to get it out of their safety deposit box.
Oh, okay. Well. 1947, the Alan J. Lerner and Frederick Lowe musical Brigadoon, about a Scottish village which magically reappears once every 100 years, opened in Broadway.
There you go.
Yeah. That was
famous dancing guy.
Yep.
1969, Apollo 9 returned to the Earth after a mission to test the lunar module. And this was the last test flight before the famous 1969 landing in the summer of 1969 when Nixon was president and called them from Earth.
Yeah. Wow. 1964, bar manager Catherine Kitty Genovese, 28, was stabbed to death near her Queens, New York home. The case gained notoriety over the supposed reluctance of Genovese's neighbors to respond to her cries for help.
Yeah, that's not good. 1996. A gunman opened fire in a class at a kindergarten in an elementary school in Dunblane, Scotland. regrettably, the loss of life for 16 young souls and one teacher.
Yeah. 1980, Ford Motor Company chairman Henry Ford II announced he was stepping down. The same day, a jury in Winnemucca, Indiana, found the company not guilty of reckless homicide in the fiery death of 3 young women in a Ford Pinto. And we all remember the Ford Pinto was famous for blowing up if you hit it from behind.
Yeah, it's like the Chrysler Gremlin. Remember the Gremlin with those big windows?
Yeah, that was
the last Ford until recently to run the company, too.
Yeah, well, there you are. Well, guess what, Shane? We do have a Montana News and Agriculture today. So, hey, I'm excited to find out.
And we're on time. And we're on time.
Yeah,
I mean, we got 40 seconds. You can talk to me for 40 whole seconds.
We are styling this morning, man. Well, it's hump day, you know. We're on the downhill slide, so we're ready to go here. So, all right, we got Montana News and Agriculture coming up, keeping our farmers and ranchers happy, our cab drivers happy, our truck drivers happy. Everybody out there is happy. If you're wearing clothes, eating food, or you're hungover, thank a farmer, rancher, cab driver, truck driver, whatever.
Somebody. Just thank somebody.
Just thank the nearest person to you that, hey, we live in a great place. So, and here's Montana News and Agriculture. 6:22 in the morning. It's Wednesday, March 13th, 2019. Welcome, everyone, to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Temperature's 18 degrees outside, and, well, there's lots of news going on nationally that affect Bozeman, certainly. On Tuesday, President Donald Trump signed Senate Bill 47, a broad legislative package including land designations and more affecting areas across the country. It sailed through both houses, and the bill includes 2 pieces that Montana congressional delegation pushed for. The Yellowstone Gateway Protection Act, which would bar new mining claims on 30,000 acres of public land north of Yellowstone National Park, and the permanent reauthorization of the Land and Water Conservation Fund. So all 3 of our senators or 2 senators and the representative voted for the issue. And it was voted into law, or signed into law, I guess, by the president. So, it's that's quite a protection of a lot of land north of Yellowstone. I still wonder about 30,000 acres. That's a big piece of land. You can't put an oil well there somewhere, or maybe a little coal mine, or come on.
That's right. Well,
is that going to hurt?
Spring has come to the Gallatin Valley because
yeah,
the first grizzly sighting of 2019 in Yellowstone Park has happened.
Oh, yeah? All right.
So if the grizzlies are up and about to chase something, you know it's spring.
Yes, I do. It would be spring, I guess, if that was going on. The other thing that happened, I guess, is that, Zinke, Ryan Zinke, our ex-Interior Secretary, kind of left under suspicious circumstances, I guess. He had a lot of ethics questions about his travel and everything else, but he did leave some interior business unfinished. He recommended that they reduce 2 sprawling Utah monuments that have been criticized by the federal government as overreach by the government. And the state's Republican leaders since the creation all the way back with Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. But in the 15 months since Trump downsized the Utah monuments, the president's done nothing with Zinke's proposal to shrink 2 more monuments, one in Oregon and one in Nevada, and change the rules at 6 others, including allowing commercial fishing inside 3 marine monuments in waters off New England, Hawaii, and American Samoa. And, of course, Zinke was replaced by Interior Secretary David Bernhardt, a former lobbyist for the oil and gas industry and other corporate interests. What could possibly go wrong?
Not much, but all I know is I have a second reason now in July to come to Bozeman in the Valley.
Yeah? What's that?
Travis W. Atkins, Bozeman High School graduate. It's been announced that President Donald Trump will award him the Medal of Honor and Staff Sergeant. Well done, buddy. We appreciate your role in what you did and the people you saved. But most important, Tom, I got to meet this guy. I've never met a Medal of Honor winner. Have you?
Well, not that I'm aware of anyway, but
got to have him on the show. Got to have him on the show while I'm there.
All right, we'll find out. We'll see if we can get hold of him. Yeah, I think he actually. I think he his award was upgraded to Medal of Honor. They were going to give him something else, but they decided that he did go above and beyond, way above and beyond. So they decided to up him a little bit. So
save lives, you get the prize.
That's right, man. Well, a lot of Medal of Honor winners get the medal, but they aren't around to accept it. They pretty much a lot of them. Those who survive and get it are pretty cool. But Audie Murphy, of course, most decorated soldier ever.
That's right.
Yeah, Medal of Honor and got about every award you can get. In the military, went on to acting, died in a plane crash, but
short. Yeah, I mean the guy wasn't even. I mean, he had to stand on a soapbox in Hollywood to do movies.
Yeah, he wasn't a very big guy, so yes, he wasn't a big target for the bad guys.
But that's like Arnie Schwarzenegger. He's not very tall. He's only like 5'8".
Yeah. So's Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
all these guys are. Yeah. Yeah, Alan Ladd was, for people who remember way back that far, Shane, of course, the movie.
Hey, yeah,
I know you get that a lot, right? Shane, come back.
1955, yeah.
You're probably tired of hearing that.
Come back, Shane.
Come back, Shane. Now, did Shane die or not?
Did
he fall off his?
Look at me, come on.
Did he fall off his horse after he rode out of sight or what? Because he was shot, wasn't he?
He went back to the barn.
Went back to the barn and belted down a few, huh? I don't know. Well, anyway, hey, the World Wide Web is 30, Shane, 30 years old. And I don't know if it's the web we wanted or not, but what do you think? Yeah, I always considered it like a big city. There are parts of town you just don't want to go into.
Well, in the inner cities in your country, there are parts of town. Well, in Canada,
that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Canada, you can go anywhere because, I don't know, people are all...
there's a couple of places in Toronto you don't want to go.
You think so? I don't know. I think everybody over there...
And there's a couple of places in Vancouver you definitely don't want to go.
Okay. Well, I thought since you legalized pot everywhere, everybody just be laying on the street and, be safe to go anywhere.
Oh, man. We got a drug issue here. It's really bad, like yours.
I bet you do. Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. All right, we got to duck out here, pay a couple of bills, and do some other stuff. So, hey, you got Montana State News, Fox News, Brooke Foster weather, and no Noxatril, and no Babble on this break. So, enjoy. Sit back, have your morning coffee, and enjoy these words from our great sponsors. We'll be right back with more right after this. 23 minutes before the top of the hour. It is Wednesday, March 13, 2019, 19 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane and Tom on the line in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor, in the house. We've got a caller waiting. Caller, you are on the line. What's up? How about over here? Caller, you're on the air. What's up?
Yeah, good morning. I'm
Hey.
surprised you didn't touch upon the bribery scandals.
Well, we're going to do that later. That's national news. We kind of do local stuff during the first hour. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just bring that up now.
Sure. You can bring it up now. Yeah. The movie stars that are paying to get their kids into school.
What about the Arab nations?
Well, I don't know. I would guess there's probably some in there too, and other rich people. Rich people. Hey, if you got money, you can make things happen, I guess. But strangely, that the bribery scandal, when the law was passed, that the briber gets the punishment, but not the bribee. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? Most of the Congress, Washington is all being bribed, so they'll all be in prison. Yeah.
So it was not to benefit us; it was to benefit the politicians.
Well,
the problem with this situation is that the Attorney General of the United States, Loretta Lynch, started investigating this in 2011 during the last administration of Obama. And apparently they did not think it relevant enough to charge these people. So, folks, wake up to the reality. Your new Attorney General, Barr, been in the office 3 weeks, got into on the weekend, had so much to look at, and he found a file on his desk and went, "What's going on here?" Picked up the phone, called the federal Attorney General representing this case and said, "What are you doing holding this case back?" It's coming, folks. The hammer's about to fall.
Yeah, but as I said, the reason that the briber has to pay the penalty, not the bribee. I mean, because all the whole Washington is being
no, they're going after these guys for racketeering, which could involve the RICO Act. If they invoke the RICO Act, they can seize their homes, their property, their cars, their jewelry, their money. Wow!
Yeah,
I mean,
why
did you
not
see
the one who's accepting the bribes?
Well, they got him too. He's the one that is blowing the whistle on them, and he may get a reduced sentence for for being the ringleader and telling the tales on everybody else.
You know, in New Jersey there was a case years ago. You probably remember it. I don't think it was D'Amato, one of those Italian name, and
sorry,
there was a bribery by a briber bribed. I think it was the governor, matter of fact. I don't know. But anyway, what wound up was the briber was literally sentenced to prison, but not the bribee. So the reason...
Well, apparently this involved dozens of people, which is really scary.
Yeah.
And this is a federal crime, so racketeering, that's like a 20-year sentence. Wow. Families paid. They bribed this guy with $500,000 up to $6 million. One family bribed him with $6 million. Can you imagine?
605, yes.
And then the civil suits. Any of these people convicted, the civil suits of families of students were robbed. And then on top of that, whatever kids are still in school or have graduated, they'll lose their degree if they got one. And if they're still in school, they're going to get thrown out because they had people do their SAT tests. This is not good. Mm-hmm. You know, this is the academic left. This is the Hollywood left. Man, this does, talk about white privilege. Ouch.
Yeah, pretty much is. Well, I don't know. There may be some athletes in there somewhere that have big bucks. You never know.
But they had coaches.
They are the athletes, yes.
They even falsified that.
Yeah, the SAT scores were lowered for them. I heard it in the news.
No, they had other people write the SAT scores write the SAT test for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. This is bad.
Yeah, they paid people to go in and take the tests that were, well, they'd be, I guess, smart like you and I.
You know what?
I don't want to be talking off of somebody.
You know what? I don't know if I had the money. I don't know if I wouldn't have done that to save the time. Let's face it, we want the best for our children. But
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Hey. If somebody gives you an easy path, why not take it, huh?
Well, did you see that one girl on her podcast say, I don't want to go to college to learn. I want to go to party and drink and have fun.
Yeah, there you are.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Just scary stuff, guys. Not good. Not good film.
Since we're talking local news, this $7 million for updating the parks and the whatever. I mean, what did you spend that money on? Wasn't that supposed to do the parks and schools, whatever they're supposed to do?
All I can say, sweetheart, is if you want to live in the best country club in the world, you got to keep up with Canada.
Well, you just said that's Canada. Certain parts you can't go into.
Yeah.
It's Vancouver, of all the places. Yeah. That's not the place I remember, because I lived in Vancouver. By the way, we want local news again in Missoula. I had this man here yesterday, and we're talking, etc., and we're talking about the park. He said, all right, we're getting a dog park. That's fine. We need one, he said. However, they have to pay $100,000 to put a statue of a dog in it.
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They can get a statue of Shane and I for half price.
That's right. We're going to go to that woodcutter and have him do one of us, chainsaws. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Shane and I'll be doing what dogs do.
Yeah, exactly. Do. What dogs do.
I wonder whose son is a sculptor or something. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay, fellas.
I got to go, darling. Hey,
Okay.
thanks for the call. All right, take care. All right, we'll be right back. 11 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, March 13th, 2019, 20 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor, and Shane and Tom, and half man, half amazing in Vancouver, British Columbia. We got a caller on the line, Shane, so let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the air. What's up? So we're 1 for 3.
There you go.
Well, one of the local stories we need to touch on here, Shane, is Montana could pay college graduates to move to small towns in Montana. If we've got counties less than 15,000 population, you can get up to 15 grand if you're a advanced degree, a 10,000 if you're a bachelor, and a bachelor's degree, that is. I guess you could be married. It doesn't matter.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, right. So, and if you have a 2-year program, 5 grand, and you can also get some property tax relief. An idea by Representative Joel Krautner in Sydney, Republican in Sydney, announced House Bill 405, which would offer recent college graduates money to go to these small towns. And I don't know, I have mixed feelings about that. They're looking for specialized things, like accounting and that kind of thing. But I think if there's an accountant in these small towns and you bring in a ringer and pay that guy, it seems like that would be unfair competition. I don't know. It's I'm all for bringing people, keeping people in our state, but to give one company an advantage over another one, by hiring someone, I think. I think if you're going to go into the accounting business or something in that city, you should be able to interview with all of the accountants, and
yes, exactly.
Yeah, and let them make the offer of what you're worth, and if they can afford you, or not, and kind of go from there. So
that's right.
I don't know, but anyway, it's a. They call the legislation Catch and Keep Act.
There you go.
You got to like the name.
Do you think they have merit to be here?
I hope so. I don't know. But, it's designed to encourage grads to settle in communities where employers have a hard time finding qualified workers for healthcare, education, and accounting jobs. So he said he's frustrated that Montana's economic growth has tended to cluster in the cities. And as we've talked about many times, that Gallatin County subsidizes other counties, which have low population. So, part of our taxes go to subsidize others in our state, which is fine. They don't have a tax base to have a police department, fire department, things like that. Mm-hmm. We... And if the Keystone Pipeline ever goes through, got big property taxes there, $63 million every year. The pipeline's there for some of the poorest counties in Montana. So that's a pretty good deal, I think. We need to get that thing going. So, and we got to take another quick break. Sorry, these breaks are a little long, and we went a little long on that last phone call, but we'll be right back. 3 minutes before the top of the hour, Mike McCormick will join us at 8 o'clock, and coming up at 7 o'clock, of course, 5 things you need to know. But we were talking earlier, Shane, about the first grizzlies reported in Yellowstone Park, and this warm snap is coming just at the right time because the bears, when they come out of hibernation, usually feed on carcasses of animals that died during the winter from the harsh winter or the cold or the snow may have made foraging for food very difficult for some of these older or younger animals. So the cold temperatures kept the meat fresh. So have at it, baby.
Yeah, warm weather puts up a real scent, doesn't it?
It will. Yep, they'll be able to find those dead elk or whatever is out there. Dead elk.
It's like a mean haze over the park.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, look, a smorgasbord.
Exactly.
There we are. Yeah. So yeah. Well, it's good. Grizzly bears are out. They usually come out mid to late March, and then the mothers with the cubs come out a little bit later, maybe first of April or something like that. So yeah, if you're going over there, make sure you carry some bear spray, because this is the time of year they're pretty aggressive when food is short supply, and also mom's protecting the cubs. So yeah, it's if you're going over and hiking around in areas that you're unfamiliar with, or where bears have known to be, better go prepared. Make plenty of noise as you're walking along.
That's right. Have a walking stick.
Yeah, have a walking stick, your bear spray, and a
whistle. Get a whistle. They don't like
well, or a bell or something. Let them know you're coming so they can go another direction. So I don't know. Anyway.
Well, and truly, a lot of people go out hiking because they're trying to lose weight and they're exercising. So
that's true.
Be careful, because you look appetizing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you've been sitting around all summer, you may be a little plumper than you were at the beginning of fall.
That's correct.
All right. Well, in other news, before we leave here, residents are struggling with the leaky roofs. Shane, we got a lot of snow. We got a lot of, as these things start to melt, they'll turn to ice, and that gets heavy. So it's going to be interesting to see how these are going. But Gallatin County Emergency Management isn't aware of any other structural damage in the valley. But hey, it's only Wednesday. Wait and see.
We went over to my nephew's house Saturday night to play cards. A foot of snow still on his roof.
All right.
Unbelievable.
There you go. All right. All right, we got to duck out of here. We got Fox News at the top of the hour, of course, Montana State News, and Brooke Foster weather. And coming up at 8 o'clock, Mike McCormick will join us. And we got a lot to talk about. When we come back, 5 things you need to know. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everyone. It's the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. 5 minutes after the hour, it is 21 degrees outside, March 13th, 2019. And Shane and Tom on the line with me, half man, half amazing, half Renaissance, half, what else were you, Pitbull? You were Pitbull? Yeah. Half everything up there in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor, in the house. And Mike McCormick will join us at 8 o'clock. And, well, the 5 things you need to know, of course, you just heard on the news there that California Governor Newsom, Democrat, of course, is expected to announce on Wednesday that he will use an executive order to pass a moratorium on the death penalty. And they have 737 inmates now on death row in California, Shane. And 24 of those have exhausted all of their appeals. Why are they still alive?
Well, they have a governor that just won't sign the death warrant.
Apparently not. So I don't know if you've exhausted all of your appeals. It seems like you got a fair shake. And, if you do the crime, you should do the time and whatever. But anyway.
In this case, the permanent time.
Yeah. Well, during his announcement, Newsom is planning on saying that the intentional killing of another person is wrong, and as governor, I will not oversee the execution of any individual. He will argue that the death penalty is inherently racist, based against the mentally ill, does not increase safety, is expensive, and has led to the deaths of wrongfully convicted inmates. California last executed a death row inmate in 2006.
Well, as you know, there's no death penalty in Canada since 1972.
Yeah.
When we brought our Constitution home from England.
Yeah.
But it's one of these, you're either for it or against it. It's amazing,
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Well, people say, well, how can you be against abortion but before the death penalty? And well, you're talking about innocent life against guilty life. That's the main reson.
That's a factor. Yeah.
Yeah. That the innocent life didn't do anything to warrant their death, but if you go out and commit crimes, well.
Well, if you honor your judicial system, you should honor all the rules, right?
I would think so.
That's the whole play. Yeah. Very sad. Yeah.
Well, didn't California back when Manson was in prison, didn't they stop the death penalty back then? Because I think he was sentenced to death, and then they repealed it. And
they repealed. They had a vote.
Obviously, they must have had a change of heart for some reason. I guess if Manson won't convince you, who will?
That's right. That's pretty incredible.
I don't know. Anyway, well, of course, his ashes are spread around now, thankfully.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, finally gone. Well, the U.S. is the only country still flying the Boeing 737 MAX. The folks over in Europe don't seem very happy with that, and the Federal Aviation Administration and Boeing are standing behind the new jet, but the folks overseas, the European Aviation Safety place that does 32 countries, said no dice. He ain't flying those things around here, so...
And they have, as we mentioned yesterday, they have over 4,000 orders for these planes.
Yeah.
And Boeing is a major benefit to foreign exchange trading with the U.S. So, this hurts your balance of trade as well as the people working at the company. They have their own extended manufacturing line in Seattle just for the 737. So, this is not good.
No. Well, it's also dragging down, the one stock is dragging the market down.
That's right.
All by itself. So that's another issue that, but we'll see. The even Transportation Secretary Roy LaHood and others disagree, arguing it would be safer to ground the planes pending further study. And I think we talked the other day that whatever caused these crashes, where the nose of the plane for some reason rises and causes a stall, and then it falls out of the sky, that that somebody forgot to put that in the instruction book for the plane.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that seems a little short-sighted to me. Hey, Bob, did you put that Denman in the book? Oh no, it's over here in my locker.
Yeah, that's right.
I meant to do that. I'll get it on it next week.
Yeah, it's pretty overwhelming.
I don't know. That just seems a little, here's something that'll crash the plane, and we left it out of the instruction book.
Yeah,
and I can see him dive. I can see him diving to earth, flipping through the book.
Yeah, exactly. and I regrettably, I think it'll be determined that it's pilot's error. But as you say, what error did they make?
I was going to say, if you don't know the procedure, even if you're an experienced pilot, the plane has certain things that you need to know about that, correct things that maybe, I'm not a pilot myself, but I would think that all planes are somewhat different, that, they all have the basic flying things, but,
and they put this automated system in for particularly for takeoff to keep the nose up. And, as we discussed, the pilot's flying the plane. So when one of these systems that he thinks is not working properly, it's sort of the job of the co-pilot to turn it off. So you can't, you don't fly the plane and flip the switches. That's why you have a co-pilot.
Yeah, or the co-pilot's looking through the book saying, where the heck does it say what to do when the nose goes up?
And there is a third seat in the cockpit for an engineer. So you've got two people there that are supposed to, maintain the operations of the plane while you're flying.
Yeah, but if, there's nothing in the book about this. So, I don't know.
Someone call home.
Whew. A little scary there.
Call a friend.
Yeah, phone a friend. Well, once again, Theresa May over in Britain is having her problems. She got shot down again on the by the Parliament, 149 votes on the Brexit plan. And is this thing dead in the water, Shane? Is this just not going to happen?
Well, no. Because of the treaty, they leave on the 29th unless they get an extension, or they offer an extension to have another referendum.
Yeah.
But as you said, the hard thing about this is the vote. I mean, it
Yeah,
was, yeah.
they've given her a no no
No
consideration.
confidence vote.
Yeah,
And
no.
two things, because we've had people ask about this. The first thing that's important is she's a conservative, but she's a minority government, and that means she relies on the Irish Party members of Parliament who have joined her government, so she's in charge. So the backdoor problem here, of course, is that with the EU, there's an open border between Northern Ireland and Ireland. But Ireland doesn't want to leave the EU, so they'll still have European passports and trade.
Right.
So do you close the border with Northern Ireland and Ireland? Well, that backdoor problem is the settlement between the Civil War between Northern Ireland and Ireland. The British opened the borders.
Right. Yeah.
There's internal problems that this creates, and not just trade problems. But the other thing that's interesting too is that we're standardized. Are you ready for this? They were standardized tariffs in the EU for everybody to sort of, benefit from the trade.
Yeah.
My feeling is that it's the black number, and the black number is what Europe's going to want England to pay to leave the EU.
Yeah.
And May doesn't want to pay them nothing. We're not paying.
Well, I don't blame her. Why should she? I mean. Well, that's what from her standpoint. Now, the other standpoint, the EU says, well, we're losing a valuable trading partner here, so we want some compensation for that loss. But
that's right.
Yeah, but on Wednesday, Parliament votes on whether to leave the EU with no deal. If that fails, members of the Parliament will vote Thursday on delaying Britain's divorce from the EU in less than 3 weeks. Britain is scheduled to leave the European trading bloc, and all options contain elements of uncertainty. So, there's a couple more votes coming up that are going to be something.
Now the worst trigger she could pull, because she was opposed to it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. So she followed this mandate because they had a vote.
Right.
So a lot of people are talking, and writing about the fact that she may call for another referendum, as cover.
Right.
Now, why is this important? Well, the reason that's important is twofold. First of all, the Liberal Party in England has gone off the rails. All the middle to, soft side of the Liberal Party have left, and the hardcores members of the party are turning socialist and anti-Semitic. I mean, some of the things, people think what, the members of your House of Representatives have said about Jews are nothing compared to what members of the House on the Liberal. So a lot of people in Europe are going, oh my gosh, wonder if a liberal socialist party comes into England. Oh, this is serious now.
It would be. Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing we saw 100 years ago after World War I, and it took 18 years for Hitler to take over in Germany and everything, and Mussolini just got the trains running on time, and everyone loved him. But the point is it's happening all over again. So it's not a good thing, Tom.
That's what we're seeing, and we're kind of seeing a manifestation of that here. Usually what happens in the U.S. migrates overseas. And it's just the opposite now, that all these socialist countries here are starting to look pretty good to millennials until you educate them as to what all that stuff means.
And now, that trip that Trump made to England, and when he visited the Queen, of course, and they made a big deal of. But his meetings over there, I think, were really important because the U.S. is England's biggest trading partner. Right, so I think he backed her and said, look, whatever happens, I'm going to do a deal with you separate from EU anyway. I'm straightening out these trade routes around the world, and you're on our list to be on our side. So those aren't the things I'm worried about. I'm worried about the political side of it.
Well, I think that's where the issue is going to come down, because they've already been inundated with immigrants from the Middle East all over the place, and
they've stopped taking them. Yeah. That's the other edge. Yeah.
But well, in other news, Manafort got his 47 months in jail. Now he's facing 10 years. in prison for his second trial, or another sentencing hearing, I guess I should say. But, they expect to sentence him this morning in his second federal criminal case. Amy Berman, Jackson, the judge in Washington, could sentence him up to 10 years in prison for crimes of witness tampering, unregistered lobbying, and other related charges. But
but remember, U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson is a Trump favorite for the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Catholic, 5 kids, very conservative.
Yeah.
I'd say 10 years.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But that's what they're expecting anyway. Is 10 years. That's what he could serve, I guess. Is 10 years. They sentenced him last week to 47 months in prison out of a possible 24 years that made Mueller a little unhappy. Mueller wanted to throw the book at him. And so I don't know if these, this lying and, well, some of the things he did are pretty serious, bank fraud and, those things.
Well, the things he did were really bad.
They were. Yeah.
And he should go to jail, and I think the judge gave him a fair sentencing for what he did.
Yeah.
Not what they wanted to charge him with, but what he got charged with. But the other thing I think is important, too, is the judge looked at this man and what they did to him, because, they threw him in solitary confinement,
Yeah.
And that's just horrific. Solitary confinement in a federal prison in the U.S. is not a good thing, folks.
Yeah, probably not, but... Anyway, Judge Berman will decide not just how long Manafort's second sentence will be, but also whether he will serve it concurrently with the other one or consecutively. Will it be, will they be end to end or will they be served at the same time? So in this case, Manafort pleaded guilty and agreed to cooperate, but Jackson agreed with Special Counsel Robert Mueller's office that Manafort lied to prosecutors, and that kind of voided his plea deal. If you're gonna plead, you should tell the truth, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's right.
That's one of the things you might want to think about doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. 24 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Wednesday, March 13th, 2019, 21 degrees outside. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Shane and Tobin on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. Half man, half amazing, half pit bull, half a Renaissance man, half everything. He is on it. Tom Eagle off your morning mayor in the house. And hey, our poll question of the day. Shane, do you choose rock, paper, or scissors?
I'm an easy guy. I pick papers.
Paper, huh? All right. Yeah. Well, right now, rock and scissors are tied for the lead, 33 each, 33% each, and paper and blunt instrument, in case you lose, are tied for second at 16% each. So get over to our website, KMMSAM.com, and vote in our poll question, or go to your smartphone, AM 1450 KMMS, and get that done. The other thing I wanted to remind everybody is in the brief time we've got left here, is that in our Facebook page, our KMMS Facebook page, which has become very popular. Thank you very much. And we hope that you will go over and like our page. And I was going to pull up the stats from when Shane and I started here real quick, and I will try to do that here real quick. I think I can do that. Let's see, likes, and let's see. Shane and I took over when was it? November 27th. And at that time, our page book or our Facebook likes were 784, Shane.
Wow.
And today we are at 984. We are just 16 short of 1,000. So
fans.
I know there's 16 of you out there that are on Facebook, so go over there and like our page at facebook.com/KMMSAM. Don't forget the AM. Facebook.com, KMMSAM. And if you're not on Facebook, you know someone who is.
That's
Either your kids are, or your sister is, or your cousin is, or there's somebody in Borneo who is. So tell them to get over there and we just need 16 more folks to go over 1,000, and this is one of the things the bean counters look at when they're considering us for this job. Are we growing the station? Are we growing Are we growing the? We're certainly growing the apps, the AM 1450 KMMS app, and don't forget to get that on your smartphone. That would help us out as well. But we've got a pretty dramatic increase here in Facebook, and we appreciate all of you going over and liking the page. But hey, get over there, facebook.com/KMMSAM, and we'll appreciate that greatly to help us out so that we can demonstrate that, hey, we're growing an audience here. On not just on the air, but also on the digital side as well, because they are very big on the digital side. So let's make that happen. So
that's what works, baby. The social networking.
That's it, boys. And
when we were growing up, networking was everything in business, right?
Well, it is. Yeah, you've got to. Yeah, no, it's not what you know; it's who you know. Mm-hmm. In many cases. So yeah, we would be happy to have you as a Facebook folks, and we're not going to email you. We're not going to inundate you with anything. So you shouldn't have all the contact with us should be on your side, not our side. So
that's right.
So that will work out.
And our theme song is "Getting to Know You" from The King and I.
That's right. Getting to know you. All right. Well, I'm not going to sing that. So.
Nah, keep your day job, Thomas. Your voice is good on the radio.
All right. Well, we come back. We've got this college scandal thing to talk about a little bit. That's our other of the 5 things you need to know. So we're going to chat about that when we come back. Mike McCormick will be in at 8 o'clock, so we'll find out where these rock and roll Boeing and all that stuff is going. So we'll check with Mike on that. And, hey, it's Wednesday, hump day. Enjoy it.
Yes,
and we got warm weather on the way. 21 degrees outside right now, and we're looking for 30s and 40s in the days ahead. So it's going to be pretty nice. Maybe we will actually have some kind of a spring in Montana. So we'll check it out. Shane and I'll be back right after this. 23 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, March 13, 2019, 22 degrees outside. Shane McTomin on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia, and Tommy Galoff, your morning mayor, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And, one thing that came up, Shane, on our website, our KMMSAM.com website, Medal of Honor is going to be awarded to Travis Atkins, and one of the responses to our story is that would be a great name for the new high school.
Huge.
The Travis Atkins High School, or Travis W. Atkins High School. Now, there would probably be some people that think we're glorifying war. They might take exception to it, but I would think that would be a great honor to name the high school after him, especially since he was a Bozeman High School graduate. It's not like we're naming it after a president or, someone else, but that would give it a real Bozeman hometown thing. And the mascot could be anything.
That's right. So. Well, I have to apologize to his family. Mm-hmm. I made a comment about wanting to meet him, and, it's posthumously that he's being awarded this. So I apologize to the Atkins family.
Yeah. Well, I think the name would be a good deal. I would like to see that. So, yeah.
Well, Mary, you seem to have influence because I think the fish story died with you.
Okay. I guess so. Let's see. How did the radio station keep track of growth before smartphones and Facebook? That's from our text line, 478-8298, 478-8298. And Tucker Carlson clarification, radio show Bubba the Love Sponge was satirical. Vulgar comments were made by Tucker, and he took on the persona of a Democrat president candidate. Those views were not his own. And, Bubba the Love Sponge is a satirical radio show, so we take that to
and a nasty one at that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he's not on regular AM, so he won't be. He'll be saying the 8 words we can't say probably every 15 minutes. So, how did the radio station keep track of growth before phones and Facebook? I guess they did it with Nielsen ratings. They used to
sweeps, baby, yeah. And we were always good in our demographics.
Right. Yeah. Well, they used to send out books, and you would keep track in a book of when you listened to the radio, right, what stations you listened to, or TV, or whatever. And my wife and I participated in one of those when we were in California. Actually, we spent about a month filling out what we watched during the day and when and what times and all that. So it was kind of interesting to do that, and it really gave us a feel for how much we watched TV, which was more than we should have, I guess, at the time. But
well, I had a couple of friends of mine that were actors, and they belonged, to the Academy Awards, or the thing. And every year they would get a package before anyone else of all the movies that they would have to look at to be able to vote on. Mm-hmm. And they had to sign an affidavit that they looked at every one of them.
Yeah.
So
you can't just phone it in.
and we used to give them a hard time because, go home earlier. Because they get like 50, 60 movies they'd have to watch,
Well, yeah, you got all those documentaries, you got all all that
short
stuff
stories,
there, so,
all of them. Yeah. So same thing, keeping track of who you listen to or what you watch.
All right. Well, we still got to get to this, scandal here. We'll do that when we come right back. So hang in there. A lot going on today. Mike McCormick will join us at 8 o'clock. When we come back, we're going to talk about this university pay to play in the universities. We'll be right back. 14 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, March 13, 2019, 23 degrees outside. Shane Taubman on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. And, we've got court documents unsealed on Tuesday. This thing's been going on since 2011, I guess. It's been going on for a long time.
Wow.
And they show a large-scale plot to use bribery and fraud to facilitate children's college admission. More than 40 people have been charged in connection with the cheating scam, including actresses Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman. And the Justice Department said that William Singer, who pleaded guilty on Tuesday, ran an organization called the Key Worldwide Foundation, a sham charity that took money from parents and used it to bribe college admission officials. So the parents knowingly conspired with Singer to either pay college entrance exam administrators to have someone else take exams for the students, or to have the answers changed afterward, or to bribe college officials to falsely say the students were being recruited as athletes. So Loughlin and Huffman were charged with conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services fraud. Honest services fraud. We'll have to ask Jennifer about honest services fraud.
Well, there's 3 things about this whole story that are unbelievable. One, it's been going on, the investigation, since 2011. Does not bode well for the Obama administration.
Well, that's true. I don't know if they had anything to do with it.
No, but they didn't pursue it. He kept it under wraps, and okay. Your new Attorney General, Barr, obviously said, we're going with this. The second is the irony that the guy that turned on all these people is named Singer.
Yeah. He is singing, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, the third thing that's really important is that this federal attorney that announced this, he said that they're going to go after racketeering with these people. Well, now that means the RICO Act.
Yep.
And if it's the RICO Act, baby, they're in trouble, because they see the government, once they charge them, they can seize their homes, their cars, their planes, their jewelry, their
stuff.
money.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're really, and the amazing thing was that I think Loughlin, $200,000 bond, and Felicity Huffman, because she had to fly in, right?
Yeah.
$1 million bond.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, they got some big bucks, She's married to William Macy from Shameless, and other, they've been in movies, and She was on the Housewives for a long time. Still on. I don't know if it's even on anymore or not, but
but this is a horrific black eye in academia in your country.
Well, it does for sure, but they're not sure that the colleges were directly involved, but certainly the coaches and some of these other people, down the food chain were. So, it'll be interesting to see.
Nothing to say about how shameless Hollywood has been about telling everybody about being moral. And now this pops up. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, I'm surprised there's only two people that they have named so far. I'm assuming they'll name more as this goes on.
Yeah, because there's 40.
But it would seem like if you got 40 some people that are being charged, there are probably some names in there that we know. I would think there might be some CEOs in there. There might be some politicians in there. I don't know, but.
Well, the other big news about this is, with the Sandman civil matters that are now before the court with the Washington Post and CNN.
Yeah.
The interesting thing here is that this is criminal. So if anyone that's convicted, families can now go through all that documentation gathered, from the conviction because it'd be public knowledge.
Yeah, sure.
And they'll be able to take civil action against these people because their child may have been skipped.
Well, it could be. It's hard to tell if you were skipped. It depends on what the procedure is to get somebody in. Obviously, athletics would be an easy one. Figure out. If you never played soccer and somebody else was a established soccer player, that might be. If you applied at the same time, then you'd have something to say.
But my relation is this is criminal. So let's say, for the sake, one of these women's. I think one of them had two daughters. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe they've gone to school and finished, or they're in school. Well, first of all, they're going to get thrown out of school.
I would think so.
And then parents that would look at when she applied and what school she went, and they find out that their kid didn't get into that school because of her. That's a civil. Well,
it would be. Yeah, they could certainly sue the school for not vetting properly. I guess whatever. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the morning soapbox. What's up?
Hey, this is Aaron. How you guys doing?
Hi, Aaron.
Rush talked about this a little bit yesterday. Mm-hmm. He said that he said some interesting things. One of them was that affirmative action and minority quotas is a lot of the reason these rich white people are having to pay to get their kids in there. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it kind of makes sense.
Well, I know Harvard, I think, was under the gun for hiring or giving the okay to too many Asians or something like that. I'm not sure it was Harvard, but one of the Ivy League schools, I think, was under fire for that.
Right. And I think a lot of it, people aren't getting in places based on merit anywhere.
Yeah.
Anytime you have affirmative action, that's basically the government doing the same thing these rich white Hollywood folks are doing, right?
Well, look at West Point. You got to know a senator or somebody to recommend you for West Point or Annapolis or some of those things. That I don't know that that's all that fair.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not really certain that I don't think that. I got to agree with Obama on this. I don't think there's anything. You got to fix the whole system. You can't just pick out these people.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to make it just based on your skills and whatnot, and then you get in. But I want to say, you guys had a devout communist call up yesterday, didn't you?
Mm.
And
every day.
Kind of gave Jeff Krause a little bit of guff. They got a little argument.
Yeah, a little bit.
That guy was, why do these people move here and try to change our politics? Why don't they move to where his homeboy Bernie lives and he gets to live there? Why do they got to come here and take Montana and turn it into a communist dump?
Well, I wish I had an answer, but, people are free to go where they want to go in America, as far as I know.
Well, we need to change that law, too. You'll be good.
Okay, thanks for the call. All right. Well, we lost Shane on Skype. I don't know do we lose you on the phone too, Shane?
No, I'm here. I'm calling you back.
Okay, you're on the phone. All right, there he is. We got an incoming call there. Let's see if I can. It's all the way down at the bottom of my screen where I can't see it. Will it move? There we go. There we go. We got it up there. There he is. Now he's back. Now you're back.
Yeah, you look so good in the morning, Tom.
Don't I? I tell you, I clean up so good. All right. Well, I would agree with Aaron on this one that the admission system of schools and universities, obviously there are a lot of people that want to get in. There are a lot of qualified people that want to get in. But, you know, the scam situation certainly does, in view of this scandal, seems to be pretty easy that there's always somebody with their hand out.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be willing to say, yeah, I want this girl who's never, ever played soccer in her life to come and be on our soccer team. You know, because she's great. Yeah, or row a boat. Yeah, because she's great. And, well, I don't know. And I guess I go to school and just never show up for soccer practice. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the kids are still in school. I would assume they'll be booted out. And, you know, the people who applied at the same time would probably be, I would renew those applications. And, you know, even if they're someplace else, even if they went to another school, I would give them the opportunity to come to the school they wanted to, you know, come to if they wanted to.
Yeah, that's a fair bet.
I would think so. So, but, yeah, this is kind of a bad situation here. So we got to take another break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We got about no minutes left. So, all right. I don't know. Shane's making all kinds of things about his phone. Are you on the phone?
I am.
Okay. Well, why you keep doing the phone thing?
I'm not getting your beautiful picture, so I was going to ask you to call me back on Skype, but it's fine. No, the sound is fine.
I see you. I know.
You see me, but I don't see you.
Oh, you can't see me. Okay. Well, I can see Mike McCormick, who's in the house.
There he is. Hi, Mike.
All right, we'll try to see if we can't get all this straightened out. All right, all three boys are back in town. Shaman Taubman on the line from Vancouver, British Columbia. Mike McCormick, McCormick Financial Services in the house. And, well, yours truly, Tom Eagle-Off, your morning mayor. So the boys are back in town.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, it is Wednesday. Hump day.
Nice to hear you, Shane.
Hello there, good sir.
Yes. Happy springtime. Happy time change. We sprung ahead. Time traveled over the weekend.
Yeah, I know. I lost an hour of sleep. Thank you very much. That's not that I get up early enough. I have to get up an hour earlier.
Hey, when it's dark, right? It's just a
Who cares?
digital readout for you, Tom.
That's right, yeah.
Hey, I wanted to contrast two stocks today.
All right.
Boeing and Apple.
Yeah.
Both have been darlings of the market, and sometimes not. And right now, Boeing, of course, has got a real problem on their hands when you make a product that's faulty, that can kill people. It's a bad
They're
PR
reluctant to use your product if it kills you.
Some bad reviews out there.
Yeah, right.
I'll defer to you, the small business expert, on how to handle that one. But I would argue that Boeing it's a buying opportunity when you see a dip like this.
Yeah. Boeing's not going anywhere.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it is a monopoly.
They're not going anywhere.
I mean, we've got Apple on the other side that was once maybe a monopoly with the iPhone, but they can't get the next trick out. They can't come up with the next one. We've talked about if they're doing the car, the TV, or whatever. I don't think they're doing anything.
Well, they announce a streaming service here a couple of days ago.
They're trying to get into that, and are they going to be able to upset Netflix and even the HBO's ahead of them on that? And so
they're late to the party on streaming.
Now, I don't want to be the naysayer on Apple because it'll be around. It's probably hoping to evolve to be Microsoft, which is a lot of irony in there too, where they provide a lot of regular services with a lot of various income streams, and their price to earnings ratios pretty attractive for a tech company. It's under 15 right now. That's the price of the stock divided by its earnings. And an average for the tech companies are usually about 18 plus. So it's relatively on sale. It pays a dividend. Don't run out and sell it. But a lot of people have made a lot of money on Apple, and they've sort of been waiting for this next trick. And now we got a capital gain. How do we get out of this? Well, I've been helping clients get out of it, and then you get back maybe into an index maybe into more of a targeted technology index if you want. You could do an equal weight as opposed to market cap weight. But lots of ways where you can get exposure to tomorrow's Apple and still have plenty of Apple. Any index, any mutual fund is going to have Apple in it. You're not, you don't want to leave that. But then on the flip side, when you look at something like Boeing, there's nobody else looking at making airplanes. There's plenty of people looking at making spaceships, which is strange. Yeah. But there's nobody, and plenty of people making cars that aren't in the car business. But nobody said, hey, we're going to get in the airplane business. Yeah. And this is our only U.S. manufacturer of it. If Boeing actually did have a significant problem in their ranks, if there was going to be a big problem, which I don't think there is. I don't know of any knowledge that there is. But our government would stand behind them. This is a national security company. We need to keep them strong and competitive.
Yeah, because we may need planes someday.
Flying is not going to go out of fashion.
No, it will not.
I mean, you see the way they treat us. Right now, it's comical what we have to do to fly. Yeah. And we're still happy to pay large amounts of money to do it. So, in terms of stock picking, I don't give a lot of stock advice on the show, and of course, you can't do anything that I say and say it's my fault or my problem. There's my disclaimer. But when you're looking at, if you have individual stocks, you probably own one of these two, and here's some ways to play it. And rebalancing, you could argue, is one terminology for it. But we're in a strong economy right now. When you see a good quality company have bad news, there might be an opportunity to get in. It's really a lot easier to buy things on sale than it is to sell them at their peak. Yeah. Because when they're at their peak, you think, they can't do anything wrong. It's just like Apple when they were, another iPhone. Oh, everybody's selling their own one and buying it. Yeah. Now, I do think that there's something to say about the upgrade cycle for phones. They put these batteries in there that eventually require multiple chargings per day, which is where mine's come into. Oh, yeah? So I'll be forced to upgrade. Yeah. I mean, there still is. Everybody's still.
No new battery for you, huh?
I don't think it happens. I don't know how I would do it in this one. Yeah. And also, let's think about this. This is one of the most commonly used things that people have.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't we want something shiny and new in our hands?
Of course.
Regularly.
Why would we not line up around the block for it?
There will be more, more
you see
phones
a new
sold.
fold open one that's $1,000.
It's more than, I don't think they priced that one yet.
Really?
Samsung came out with it.
Yeah, and I heard $1,000. I think it could be more.
That might be the Tesla, first sticker price tag. Heck yeah, I want one of those. Mm-hmm. That's an obvious one, right? What do you want? You want a big screen without a big thing in your pocket.
Sure.
I'm surprised they haven't pulled that one off sooner.
I know, yeah. I'm not sure how it bends, but I the creases
went online. So again, Samsung's, the first one. Yeah. They're going to be the first one to market, but you can't find anybody that's actually got one to review.
I know, yeah.
So it's sort of like, the Western movie where they got the storefront and nothing behind it just yet. Yeah. But yeah, that's the next innovation is that here's your tablet in the phone size. Yeah. So the flip phone rekindled is what it would be.
Yeah, something like that. So how many of those planes are on order, Shane?
4,500. But I just want to comment about a couple of things Mike said. It's important to note that in 2015, China's COMAC rolled out their C919. Mm-hmm. And they need like 6,300 planes for their market. And, of course, they want their own plane to be in that market. This COMAC is interesting, this C919, because while it's going to be flown in China, it will not be certified globally. So there is another competitor coming into the wings. And you and I, Tom, have talked about this. If China gets into a market that The other thing I want to point out is I find it very fascinating that Senator Warren this week announced that she's going after Apple, Google, and Twitter. They've got to be broken up, and this is not. Well, I see that as an effort but I see that because you and me, Tom, for 2 years we've been calling streaming, and in 2 years the media in the U.S. is going to change completely because either you stream successfully or gone. So I see that move. So I'm not sure it'll affect Apple stock that much because they do have a streaming feature, as you know, and so forth. But
I sure hope that doesn't go anywhere. I mean, these technology companies, everything's moving so fast
Oh, it is.
A monopoly today could be a disaster tomorrow, just letting the market do what the market does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
for us to say that, we need to break something up because it's a monopoly, and I was listening to somebody else that pointed this out, they broke up AT&T. AT&T is bigger now than it was when we broke it up.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, it just doesn't have all the fingers.
Yeah.
There's so many arguments, and this is
Same with the oil industry 100 years ago. They broke it up, and now that it's all one.
It's all right, right.
Yeah, exactly.
And as I get older, I mature and I get more conservative. I mean, it's just what happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in natural systems, and I think social systems are the same. The more that we try to control them, the more evident it is that we cannot.
Yeah.
Whether you're managing a forest in quotes, or managing a wildlife in quotes, or managing an economy in quotes, it doesn't really matter. It does what it does, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Well, I do think I think they should make Google get rid of Instagram.
Instagram's owned by Facebook, I believe.
Yeah.
Google's got YouTube.
Google's got YouTube.
Oh, they got YouTube. Yeah, I think that. Thank you. Google should get rid of YouTube, and Apple should get rid of Instagram. So there's competition.
Yeah.
Because those are two people that could like Instagram could compete with Apple.
They could, yeah.
And I know that we got a caller waiting too, but it is fascinating to me also that Google is. I try other searches every once in a while. Google gets me what I want.
Yeah.
It's the
Pretty
product
much
that I want.
Yeah. Well, it depends.
And except for now, Google's putting another layer. They're trying to get me just what I want, and I want to go to that site, and they're trying to keep me within their ecosphere.
Right, yeah.
And so now there's an opportunity for Bing or whoever to do what Google used to do and say, no, this is actually just the search.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on the air with Mike McCormick, Tom, and Shane. What's up?
It's Steve-O.
Yeah.
Morning, Eagle Man.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ambassador Shane. And hey, Mike.
Hey.
Mike, what day is it?
It's hump day.
It is hump day.
Mike.
Well, I just wanted to do
Very
that.
good.
I just wanted to do that. Hey, Mike,
Steve, what day is it? Steve, what day is it? Steve, come on, I know you can hear me.
So, Mike, my question for you today is, since we're coming off one of the longest bull runs in history, and you're looking at leading economic indicators, most of them still being strong, there seems to historically have been this, the longer the run, the bigger the fall when there is a major market correction. And we've been in this run for so long. If the market ever does fall, it's probably going to be a big one. So my question to you is, what are the economic indicators you look primarily at, and how are you now suggesting that your clients take a more defensive position at all?
Yeah, great question, Steve. Thank you. There's a lot of concern out there that we've maintained this bull run, as he calls it.
Yeah.
It's just been straight up, and this thing doesn't go straight up. And I was in a meeting with a client the other day that pointed out, hey, this account this account that hasn't gone straight up. And I said, well, in the past 12 months, the S&P 500 is only up 1.5%, and then there's a fee. And if you don't own just U.S. companies, we diversified you into things meant to try and cushion just the U.S. companies, namely international commodities, and they haven't done very well at all. So most people actually have lost money in the stock market in the past 12 months, and that's not readily known. We have short-term memories on certain things, and we're always looking for the scares out there. So this Christmas Eve sell-off that we had, these days of volatility where there's a news that moves it, the gains haven't actually been there in this past year. And that's been really healthy, because what that means is that in the meantime, we're sort of building up a stronger floor. And so when I look at the returns that people have actually realized in the stock market, when I look at the bonds and what they're doing and the likelihood of rates scooching up just a little bit more, I think that there's actually more opportunity in the stock market than people are giving it right now. I think that the expectation is for growth to be flat. The expectation is for volatility. The expectation is for rates to go up and bonds to continue not to really do that well. So when people are expecting things is when they usually don't happen.
Yeah, right.
So we're expecting a pullback. We're not going to get a pullback. We're expecting good times. we're not going to get good times. A contrarian investment thesis is the way that I come. And in terms of, forward-looking economic indicators that I look at the things the Fed looks at, inflation, unemployment. I look at things like the price-to-earnings ratio. I look at earnings outlook. And then I try and put my contrarian hat on top of all of it, because right now everybody has money. The bank deposits locally are at record highs in terms of cash. People are buying real estate at inflated prices. People are buying stocks at inflated prices. And this is the bull market that we're in. So what's the best choice for you to do? If you do, have extra cash right now, you pay down the high interest debt. You bolster up your opportunistic fund, I call it, because you want to have money when other people don't have money. And then you hold your nose and you keep buying some stocks, and you keep, paying down your mortgages, and maybe buy that property that your neighbor put up for sale at too much money. But it is what it is. You fortify, and then you keep doing what you keep doing, because we really don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. There is no memo out there about this pullback. And when it comes, the reason why it's going to come hasn't even been created yet. It's not going to be tariffs, because we've got tariffs. It's not going to be a budget stalemate, because we've got a budget. It's not going to be a government shutdown. We've done that before. All these different news flow items have the potential, but we've kind of done them all before. And in terms of, global, the big dangers of wars, well, thanks to Trump reaching out to South Korea, that's less likely. Russia's not in a position to cause a problem right now. Long term, there's issues, but short term, I think we're probably good right now. I think there's probably more upside opportunity just because people aren't seeing it.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. 24 minutes after the top of the hour. It is Wednesday, March 13th, 2019. 23 degrees outside. Shane Matobin in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Mike McCormick in the house, McCormick Financial Advisors. And Shane, you got a question or a comment or whatever?
Yes, indeed. Just to respond to the caller, my markers are the following four. The first and most important one is the Baltic Exchange Dry Index. Context: 2010, $4,000 a day to lease a ship. There are 4 on the seas: tankers, cargo, containers, and bulk. 40,000 of them that move everything around the world. It dropped to, in 2011, to 1,200. In 2014, it went up to 2,200. Dropped in 2016 to 500. Went back to 1,800 in 2019. And today, that rate is down again. So that's my biggest concern. So because the Baltic rate today is 647. My other markers that I talk about or watch closely are commodities, because we talk about them all the time, Tom.
Yep.
And, commodities, oil, of course, and even gold and silver. The bond market, of course, is ultra important because of money coming to the United States. And, with the U.S. 10-year under 3 to 2.62 and the 30-year 2.99, looks like more money's coming here because bonds are going up in price. But the big one is currency, which is the biggest, trading commodity now in the world. And I'm just surprised. I wanted to get Mike's opinion about the euro, 113, but the pound is at 131 with this Brexit issue. Wow. What a conundrum there. I mean, you'd expect the pound to be down and the euro to be up against the dollar.
Well, that's fine, because I was kind of stammering anyway.
I know. Yeah, I forgot to pop you up.
The whole thing's just a quagmire and a conundrum. I mean, so my expectation is that this Brexit thing will be delayed until it doesn't happen. That's my reading between the lines on this behavior right now, is that nobody has the power to make it happen. Nobody has the ability to make it happen.
It's easier not to make it happen than it is to make it happen.
And so in light of that, the cliff of the hard exit isn't going to happen. But Europe as a whole has been a poor investment ever since 2007. For years, I get money managers coming in, hey, Europe's on great discount, great valuations. They pay higher dividends. It's a global economy. The U.S. represents only X percentage of global economy. You need to be diversified out there. Well, it has stunk being anything related to Europe in terms of investments.
You got Greece in trouble. You got Spain in trouble.
France is on strike the whole time.
Trouble. Germany and Italy.
True. However, each one of those countries we mentioned still owns, significant resources outside of them in third world countries they're able to extract. They've got global competitive companies that do good business. And then you've got Germany that drives the ship. But yes, the conundrum, Shane, in my response is not just today's response in the currencies. It's what the heck's been going on there for the past decade or two, and how are people still thriving in that economy? Because it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. They can cut. They can. It seems to be a no-go.
Yeah. Well, that's well, Shane and I've been talking about that for years and years, I guess, as far as.
Yeah. 9.
Yeah, and we understand why Britain wants to get out.
Yeah. Some of the things they have to do are ridiculous.
Well,
they're telling sheep farmers in Ireland that they can only grow this raise this type of sheep that's not very marketable. That goes on and on about
and the borders and all that stuff. What's going on? So,
right. Yeah. The economic controls, silliness.
Yeah.
However, international still has opportunity to grow more in the emerging markets, and so that's what we're more interested in these days is the fact that Chinese technology companies are popping up like we're about to see cheatgrass pop up around the town of Bozeman.
Well, do we think if England leaves that starts the dominoes falling? Because Greece has been in trouble for a long time, Spain's been in trouble, Italy's in trouble.
I think that's the concern, but I think it's probably not the reality, because what other country's strong enough would do better without it, right? Yeah. They're about the only ones. They'll be the test case other people will watch, but I don't think they're going to leave. I don't think that they're strong enough to leave right now either.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The currency traders will love it. Another 28 currencies to play.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, well said, right?
Good. Yeah. That's all. Yeah, you have all these countries printing their own money, man. Wouldn't that be a sale you want to get in on? It'd be like Bitcoin on steroids. All right, we got to duck out of here. Mike McCormick in the house. McCormick Financial Services. How they get a hold of you, son?
Telephone, no login needed, 522-3201. Give me a call. Love the feedback. Thank you.
All right. We'll be back with more with Mike right after the news. 23 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, March 13th, 2019. 24 degrees outside. Shane Matobin on the line with me. Half man, half amazing, half pit bull, half Renaissance man, half Canadian, and Mike McCormick. 100% guy here.
I'll take that, I guess. I'll take that.
And Tom Eagle off your morning mayor. Got to get a couple texts in here. We were talking about the scandal of the college. You probably would. You'd pony up to get your girls in college, wouldn't you?
My alma mater. I was recruited at Yale.
Yale, right?
I was recruited at Yale to row crew. I wasn't that smart.
Oh.
And if the coach would have sold my spot to somebody else, that would have saved my parents $250,000, and that's back in yesterday's money. So it's the whole thing is clearly an escalation of what happens on the fields of glory every Saturday here, with parents freaking out about their kids.
There you go.
I'm in the thick of it, but yes, I still maintain you can only overspend on your kids' education. This is highlighting that right there.
Right. Yeah. Well, for our text line, 478-8298, pay for play. Isn't that the example the Democrats provide? Clinton Foundation, etc. And remember, Manafort was convicted on crimes committed from a previous administration. So got those out of the way. So thanks to our texter for sending those in. And if you want to text the show, our new number, 478-8298, is the text number. So learn it, live it, love it.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, I wanted to mention how good Shane's advice is and how good his answer was to Steve. And the listeners should recognize that Shane's has experience in markets that I don't have. My experience is primarily on helping individuals navigate their own personal financial lives in ways that their behaviors are going to lead to positive outcomes. And so I don't typically get involved in things that are so directly related to big picture asset management and directly in finance and global finance the way Shane does. So I think I appreciate all your comments, Shane. I listen. And I learned too, so thank you.
Well, that's very kind of you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to jump on before I have to go today. I've been having a lot of talks about the opportunity zones here in Montana.
Opportunity zone. We got one right here.
We are the opportunity zone on Wednesday.
Yes, we are.
Maybe we'll rebrand the show. So an opportunity zone is something that got tacked in with the Tax and Jobs Act that Trump put through beginning of last year. And in it says that up to 25% of low-income areas geographically across the country can be designated as opportunity zones. And now there's going to be a bias from somebody that primarily deals with marketable securities and not with real estate, laid in their caveat. This is a flat-out handout to developers. And so this is an incentive-based program for people to put money in certain areas of our country to encourage economic development. I'm all for that. Sure, why not? It's a socialist program, if you want to call it that, but
sure.
It is. So what it is these opportunity zones, and Bozeman's got a big one, is where you can put your capital, and if you keep it there for 10 years or more and add value and make an improvement, say you buy a piece of land or a dilapidated building and you improve that and keep it there for 10 years or more, you don't pay any capital gains, zero taxes on the gain that you might achieve by doing such a thing. So the MSU Innovation Campus is squaring it. The Gallatin Gateway development, that Rose Hours zone is squaring it, and everything out to Stuckey Road, all the way out there, Cottonwood, Stuckey, MSU. It's a huge track. And boy, how did they get that in Bozeman? Well, the answer is easy, because when you're looking at income rates across the U.S. and you find a college that has a bunch of unemployed students,
we suck.
They have low income.
That's right.
And so this was happening in California, and there was opportunity zones being designated in Palo Alto next to Stanford. And in the Californians said, well, this is a boondoggle. This is ridiculous. And the developers were like, shoot, we got caught there. And so in California, they said, okay, we're not doing any opportunity zones around schools. Well, we didn't quite get that uproar.
Yeah.
And so if you notice that there's, potentially going to be some significant acceleration in what's already a fervent growing market, that area is golden. There's a lot of funds in the work to attract money. Now, the caveat, I had a great conversation with somebody in town that I would call an expert in this. And it was a loosely written law with not a lot of detail about it. And the details are slow to come out. There is timing. There are certain requirements of how the ownership is, but it also includes companies. So you could own a share of a company that's located in an opportunity zone and potentially escape capital gains. So this is, it's hard on the budget. It's going to promote more growth in our area. The good news is there are opportunity zones in places that need them, like Anaconda's got a big one. Great Falls has got some associated with it too. So hopefully we do see some positive outcomes about it. But in short, it's, this is a developer and high net worth land boondoggle that will starve our tax base from some much needed money in the biased world of financial investing. Stay tuned. I still need, as a fiduciary, to be able to give my clients good information about this and recommend that they put their money in one of these funds if appropriate. So I'll bring more information as it goes.
All right. Hold that thought, Shane. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. And Shane has a question. If you can hang around just a couple more minutes.
You got it.
All right. 12 minutes for the top of the hour. Shane Montalban hacking in the in the background there. And Shane, Mike McCormick in the house. Tom Eagle off your morning mayor. And Shane had a comment, question, something. What, Shane?
Well, I think that another amazing thing about President Trump is he understands infrastructure. And, the Congress talk about it, the Democrats talk about it, but he goes and signs an executive order, sets up the opportunity zones, slams $100 billion in from the Commerce Department into inner cities, reduces African American unemployment because of it, because that money he saw was directed to lend people to buy and set up private companies and small operations. Richard Lefrak, as an example, $4 billion, 183 acre massive development called Solamia, north of Miami. It's just one of the examples of another $15 trillion in commitments President Trump has of people going to invest in these opportunity zones. So your president busy getting ahead of everybody. If he can't do it, he does it by executive order, like the emergency on the border. But they complain, the Democrats, about him moving money to do that. But none of them said a word about him moving money into the inner cities for opportunity zones. So there's my rant.
All right. Well, certainly that area that we were talking about out there, Rosauers, and behind there, and they got that building behind Rosauers that my wife says, don't ever say this on the air. I call it the mosque because it looks like a mosque to me. I don't know.
I think that there's maybe only about 3 different architectural styles that are not being represented in that development right now.
Yeah.
But just wait, there might be included.
I know, but that whole area. We ate out at the market, Ferguson Farms, the Nordic
Brewing.
Yeah, so it was good. It was excellent food out there.
Right. No, things are happening. There's opportunity there without a tax incentive, but this will be icing. If you're looking at investing in one of these funds, though, be careful. There's a lot of unwritten rules. Yet to be done that might really impact investors' returns on it. That was the gist.
Well, they were saying that that eventually that whole Ferguson Farms area and across they're going to develop across the street from it too, probably, and that will be we'll have a new downtown and an old downtown.
Right, which is that's good planning. In the planning theory, right?
So
because
too,
there's a lot of people that don't really enjoy coming downtown and dealing with that feature.
Yeah, that's true.
The feature of parking.
Well, parking particularly.
When the snow is occupying your parking spot, it's
a nightmare downtown.
Yeah, it's a bit rowdy.
All right, well, the Russian Limbaugh and all that stuff is going to take quite a bit of time, so I'm sorry we got to take another quick break.
I'm out of here, but thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Happy Mike Day.
Okay.
Good questions, good callers. We'll see you next week. Oh no, I'm going to be gone.
Mike.
I'm on spring break next week.
He's on spring break next week,
so we'll take a bye.
Be safe, Mike.
Thank you, Shane.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. We'll be right back. All right, 3 minutes before the top of the hour, winding down the morning soapbox this morning with Tom and Shane from our text line, 478-8298. Imagine if students went into debt to invest in real estate instead of loans for underwater basket weaving. They would be in a much better place in 20 years. That's what I did anyway. Debt-free, baby. So there you are.
All right.
I would agree. I don't know, boy. A student loan in Peruvian pottery is not going to get you much.
No. Well, I want to make a caveat to my rant in the last block. Yeah. For those of you to get a good idea of what I was talking about, these opportunity zones, read the book Pillars of Stone. Okay. The premise of the book was in the Middle Ages, they built a castle, but the deal was it created commerce. The baker, the butcher, the candlestick maker. So you had to feed and care for all the people building the castle, and it created a community and commerce. And that's what all this infrastructure that Trump is trying to get to in inner cities and around the country, and that's what builds the economy. So Pillars of Stone.
There you go. Let's take a phone call before we got to go. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox. What's up?
Well, good morning there, Tom and Shane.
Hey, how you doing, Pete?
And just a quick little note for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm just, just how hypocritical is it that we've suffered the travesty of the Russians trying to interfere in our elections on the one side, and the Democrats think that it's okay that dead people, pets, and illegal immigrants get to vote.
Well,
I think the Russians are the lesser of those two evils.
I would say so, yeah.
But they don't care. Sometimes I think, they're not. Their brain is not engaged before they get their yap moving.
Yeah. Well, I see that point clearly.
But yeah, I don't know. Do they care about the elections?
No.
Yeah, they do. They want to win.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say.
And we'll do it at any cost.
I was going to say if I ever run for office, Boris and Natasha are going to be running my program.
Yeah, right. And what was the name of their outfit?
Well,
Chaos.
yeah, there you go.
Covert. It's a covert. Be quiet. Don't tell anyone.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Have a good day, guys.
All right. Thanks,
All
Pete.
right, take care.
All right, we're out of time for this morning. Hey, thanks, everybody. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for the text. Thanks for all the input. And thanks for listening to us. We appreciate that very much. Hey, don't forget to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/KMMSAM. And don't forget our app, AM 1450 KMMS. Get it on your smartphone. You can take us with you anywhere you go. And, hey, we'll be back tomorrow. A Thursday. Ooh, almost the end of the week, Shane. So
Yes, indeed.
hang in
Thank
there.
you, Mayor.
Yeah.
And as always, be happy, be safe, everyone.
All right, man. Hey, thanks a lot. All right. Yeah, we're looking for, a high in the 30s today. So we'll see everybody bright and early 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Be safe, be happy.